Okay, Gary, tell me about restaurants in Puerto Vallarta. Why you decided? Why is this such a big interest for you?
Well, it's such a beautiful town, Puerto Vallarta, that it draws people in from all over the world. Many of the chefs that I've met have come here on vacation with their friends or their significant other, and they've decided that they'd like to live here. So they're from all over the world. You have Italian chefs, Thai, Chinese, Spanish, you just name it, they're all here. And so they come here because of the opportunities and the beauty of the place and the ability of getting into a fine restaurant or forming their own restaurant. There's many people that live here and come to visit, millions every year, and they're looking for fine dining experiences, and this is the place to come for sure. And around the world, it's one of the best.
Now, people are more interested than ever in bargains. What kind of prices can they expect versus Puerto Vallarta versus other cities?
I find that everything is priced less. You can get wonderful meals here for $25, $30 if you want to go that high and have 3 or 4 courses and have some nice wine from Chile or from Mexico or the United States or France imported. But then if you don't want to spend that kind of money, you can eat at taco stands. The street food is excellent, and you can get away there for $2, $3 for dinner at night. You can go to mom and pop cafes, I call them. The mother and father and the kids have run it for years, and you can get really good Mexican food that cooked authentically at very, very good prices. Less than $10 a piece for sure. And then you can go to more moderate places that are in between and spend a little bit more money and have a wonderful meal for $20.
So people, you talked about buying food on the street. People shouldn't be afraid of these stands on the street?
No, I don't think so at all. I have in my guide at least 30 or 40 street stands that I go to and other people have gone to.
Now tell me about your guide. I see you have it here.
Yes, this is called Beck's Best.
Okay.
And it's the Puerto Vallarta Dining Guide. It has everything in Puerto Vallarta that I recommend. Then also north of Puerto Vallarta is a section, and then south of Puerto Vallarta is a section. So it ranges from way up north, Rincon de Guayabitos, all the way down to Yalapa, with the emphasis on Puerto Vallarta. There's over 370 restaurants in here, and I'm updating and editing it every day that I'm around.
Now, how did you ever get interested in writing about Puerto Vallarta? Is this someplace you visited before?
I started coming here in 1979 just because it was Mexico and I lived in California and I wanted to come here, and I went to various towns throughout the 80s, the major towns, Mexico City, Guadalajara, Mazatlan, Acapulco, Oaxaca, and I've just always liked Puerto Vallarta. There's a special spirit here and a warmth that I don't find in the other in the other towns in Mexico as much.
Okay. Yeah, could you give us some idea? What are your favorite restaurants?
Well, it depends upon the range you're talking about. I have favorite restaurants that are the upper echelon restaurants, I call them, the 5-star dining, Cafe d'Arcis and Trio and Batea and Barcelona Tapas and El Arion, so many, La Leche. And then I have the moderate ones that I tend to go to more. When you live here, you can't afford to be eating out in really expensive restaurants all the time. So I have moderate ones like Tony's Please and Mariscos Polos and El Mole de Jovita and Esquina de las Caprichos. And then I have my little bargain places that I go to that are Comida Corrida. It's Monday through Friday. The Mexicans that are working class come in and you get a choice daily changing of about 8 different entrees. And it comes with a soup of the day, and it comes with called agua fresca, which would be like a fruit juice or a lemonade or a Jamaica juice. And all of that for like 50 pesos, which is in American dollars around $4. So that there's so many different areas of my love of food that I have different levels of choices and favorites.
Did your favorites change from time to time?
Oh, always, yes. Yeah. Some places have reached their peak and they start to go down, and then others are brand new, and I got to check them out for my guide and find new places all the time. And some places close, unfortunately, just like they do in every other town. One of your favorites is closed.
Yeah, what's different about Mexican food in the United States? When we traditionally think of Mexican food in the United States and Mexican food here.
It's just so totally different. That's one of the things that I talk about so much, is that really it's hard to get really true, authentic, traditional Mexican food in the United States. Certainly not Taco Bell. But there are little like places in San Francisco. The Mission District has some restaurants that are cooking the traditional dishes, but down here it's more likely you're going to get very traditional, good food. There are some thrown in that are Tex-Mex, and that's popular with both the tourists and the locals and the native people that live here. They like to try it too. But it's definitely not Mexican food, but it's a branch.
If people want to try real Mexican food, what were your recommendations?
Well, El Arion is one of the best for that. El Mole de Jovita is really good for basic, good Mexican cuisine. There's just so many. Some of them are mixtures. You know, they'd have the continental is a big word to be used, but they're mainly a Mexican restaurant. But they'll serve pastas and they'll serve chocolate cake for dessert. Those are not Mexican dishes, but you find blends, and I think that's to bring in more clientele too, to widen the expanse. You find a lot of wonderful fresh seafood here in Puerto Vallarta too. That's really one of the saving graces of this place. Just wonderful. They just create all these great dishes. Mahi mahi is real big here. It's also called dorado, and then washinango, which is the red snapper. Those are both caught, and we get fresh tuna a lot. We get oysters and mussels, and clams not as much. We get a Mexican lobster, which is nothing like the Maine lobster, but it's good. And shrimp is just probably the biggest thing to get in Puerto Vallarta is the shrimp.
Now, I understand there's a couple of events that celebrate the restaurants here in Puerto Vallarta. Could you tell me about those?
Yes, there's one in May that is called Restaurant Week, even though it is 17 days long. And that is where about 50 restaurants, varying by the year, offer 3 courses, and then you get 3 choices per course, and it's a set price, not including beverage or the gratuity. And that's a great bargain. You can go to these places that you normally could not afford, and you can go there for less than $30, between $25 and $30 to these places, and have a marvelous meal and get to know that restaurant at bargain prices, you know. Then in November they have the Gourmet Festival, and that's totally different. That's where each restaurant participating brings in a chef from around the world, and they fly that chef in and they put them up in lodging and they feed them, so it's very expensive for the restaurant to do, and so you are not getting a bargain when you're eating out during the festival. But many people fly in just for the festival because it's one of the landmarks of the world for gourmet dining. It's